YouTube. My name is Carly Fries, and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite holiday themed books ever. Up until this point, of course, because every year new holiday books come out and I'm gonna read those too. So yeah, basically these books are the books that I try to read every single December, pretty much. As well as ones that I've just recently discovered and am for sure gonna be reading for Christmases to come. So yeah, let's get into it. This first book is something that I was unaware of until I won it in a giveaway on Goodreads, which is a website for readers to go and review books, share their yearly reading goals with other readers, their opinions on books, what they're currently reading, and the book that I won is Jay Asher's What Light. Yeah, basically there's this girl and her parents run a Christmas tree farm, so every year they pack up their bags and head to California where they set up shop in a parking lot for a month and they sell trees. So basically this girl— Can you like shut the fuck up? My washer is going off. So basically, most of this girl's life, you know, goes on in one state, and then for a month out of each year, she just kind of has to pick up her life and move to this other place. So she doesn't really feel stable, and certainly not stable enough to have a relationship, so she never even, you know, gives in to the idea of dating until, of course, this one boy comes to the Christmas tree lot one day because he's literally just using his own money to buy Christmas tree after Christmas tree after Christmas tree for families who can't afford it. So obviously she falls for him right away because— so basically it's about this girl's struggle to, you know, kind of figure out how to, you know, have a good balance between both lives, which is pretty hard, especially if you fall for a guy in a place that you don't live for 11 out of 12 months out of the year. But you have to read the book to see what happens. Next on my list is Snowed Over by Angie Stanton, which came out last year, so that was the first time that I read it. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to reread it this year, but I wish I did have time because I remember it being so good. Basically, there's these two strangers who get a ride together back home from school for the holidays, but something happens which causes the car to stop working in the middle of nowhere, so they have to trek to this abandoned cabin which they proceed to break into and kind of survive there over the next couple days. But the problem is the guy has a fiance back home that he's heading towards, and the girls become hopelessly in love with him, and they eat pasta and they cuddle up for warmth, and it's really, really cute, and you can't help imagining being trapped alone with a hot guy in a cabin. Like, that's what fantasies are made out of. Like, another book that I love and actually have reread every single year since I've discovered it is My True Love Gave to Me, 12 Holiday Stories, which is an anthology of, you guessed it, 12 holiday themed stories put together by Stephanie Perkins, who does the best YA anthologies, just saying. And has stories from like Jenny Han, David Levithan, Rainbow Rowell, Gail Foreman. Like, that's a badass ensemble, and the stories range from to holy shit. So I mean, I can forget about those like meh ones because the ones that are so good just way out eclipse the rest. Next is my second favorite, not my first favorite, that one's coming later, but my second favorite holiday themed book, and that's Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by David Levithan and Rachel Kahn. If you haven't heard of this book, I'm sure that you've heard of Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. It's by the same authors, but Dash and Lily's Book of Dares is fairly popular and well known. So, I mean, even if you've never read it, I can guarantee you've at least heard of the title. So basically, if you have yet to pick up the book, and I must say, like, go pick it up, like, if you haven't. It's basically about this girl Lily and this guy Dash, and Lily's this shy, naive girl, whereas Dash is, most people would describe him as snarly. If you read the book, you get that reference. But yeah, he's a little cynical and, you know, not really approachable, kind of like a Grinch, doesn't really like the holidays. So basically, Lily's brother interferes in her love life and places a notebook in a public library where Dash just happens to frequent often. And he finds it, and it's basically a list of clues leading to other books throughout the library, and finally to a dare, which he does and then writes in his own thing and places it back for Lily to find. Then Lily decides she wants to go along with it, whatever, she likes, like, this guy sounds cool, like, why not, what do I have to lose? So she writes back in it, and basically the book goes back and forth for quite a while until the two finally meet and inevitably fall in love because they're literally meant for each other. Like, I'm not even gonna say spoiler alert, like, obviously they're gonna end up together, they're fucking perf. Set around Christmas time, and Lily loves Christmas, so it's a very festive feeling book. Now, for those of you who have had the fortune of reading Dash and Lily's Book of Dares, you might know what's coming up next. The 12 Days of Dash and Lily, which just came out this year, and I did not know about this until like a month ago when I went into chapters, and I was like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? And I snatched that shit off that shelf so fast. Yeah, basically, Dash and Lily's Book of Dares, the original book, came out in freaking 2010. And, like, they wrote a sequel 6 years later. Like, I don't know what brought them to write a sequel that long afterwards, but thank God they did, because it lived up to the original. Like, I'm telling you, if you're afraid to read this book because you're like, oh, Dash and Lily's Book of Dares is fucking everything. Like, obviously, they're just gonna ruin it by making another book. Okay, there are some things that are like, it's a little depressing, it's a little too real, but, like, it has a happy ending, I can tell you that. So basically this book is set 1 year later, the following Christmas, and Lily's kind of had a rough year, so she's not really feeling the whole Christmas spirit, so Dash, of all people, has to, you know, help get her back into the spirit of Christmas and make her, you know, like life again. But yeah, it's really, really cute, and it is a good representation of the kinds of things that love makes you do, so. Now, last, but certainly not least, is my absolute favorite holiday book of all time. I wonder if anybody can guess, seeing as all these books are YA, all these books are, you know, the same kind of style, like, do you see what's coming? You might not, honestly, if you're not as obsessed with holiday books as I am, but you should be, because this fucking book, this book is so good. Have you read this book? Because you should. Basically, it's another collection of stories, but instead of 12, it's only 3. But the 3 stories intertwine, so it's a lot more cohesive. I haven't even said the title yet. It's Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle, 3 amazeballs authors. So the first story starts off with this girl named Jubilee who has to board a train to go stay with her grandparents because her parents landed themselves in jail for a hilarious reason. But her train breaks down on the side of the road because there's a huge ass storm and the snow is blocking her way. So she trudges her way through the snowstorm to a nearby Denny's where she meets this guy, Stuart, who brings her back to his place with his mom and little sister so that she can wait out the storm until she's able to get back home. And her and Stuart are both dealing with their own relationship issues, so they kind of are brought together because of that, and it's super adorbs. So yeah, the second story is about this guy and his friends who get a phone call from their other friend who happens to work at that Denny's, and there are these cheerleaders who also get off the train, and now they're all just chilling in Denny's. So this guy's like, bros, like, come down to this Denny's right now. The other 2 workers have called their friends, and whichever group gets here first gets to hang out with cheerleaders. So obviously there's a panic where all these groups of people are all trying to like make it through a snowstorm to get to this freaking Denny's to hang out with some cheerleaders. And the third story ties together the other 2 while introducing a new character who's actually the girlfriend, or well, it's complicated, of this guy that Jubilee had met on the train who was heading home to kind of reconcile with her. But because he can't make it because the train stops, she thinks he's not there, she's super depressed. She has to pick up this pig for her friends. That's not important. Anyway, basically, her story also brings in all the other characters from the other 2 stories because she works at the Starbucks where everyone inevitably ends up like the morning after, and it's just really, really well done. Especially since all 3 stories are written by different authors, so it's like John Green wrote the first, and then Maureen Johnson wrote the second, and then Lauren Miracle has the difficult task of, you know, writing for those other characters because it's her job to kind of like, you know, utilize those fun little bits from the other stories to like kind of tie her thing together. And I think that's why the last author in an anthology where all the stories are related always has the most difficult job. Anyway, I'm rambling, sorry. Literary nerd over here. So anyway, that was my video. I know it's not a lot of books. I read a lot more holiday books than that, but I felt like those were the only ones really worth mentioning. Next year, hopefully there's even more that are released. There aren't actually that many holiday YA books that exist, or at least not ones that are like super great. So every time that a new one is released, I'm super excited. So please wish me luck next year that at least one new holiday YA book has been released. And if it is, then I'm gonna talk about it on YouTube because why not? Please, if you enjoyed watching this video, give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you've read any of these books. Let me know, and if there are any that you think I missed that you really like, because obviously, like I said, I'm always looking for more holiday themed books. Please subscribe to my channel if you want more book related content. I do other stuff on this channel too, like beauty, challenge videos, all kinds of stuff. I'm not really sure where I'm going with this channel at the moment, but I'm doing my thing, and if you like my thing, then subscribe. So yeah, thank you again so much for watching. Bye.